Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Tracie's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and I'm just gonna play with some scraps today. Nothing super exciting. I don't know where it's gonna end up. Maybe it will end up super exciting. Who knows? Anyway, I'm just gonna collage on these little strips of paper and just make little tags or journal cards or possibly something else. So I'm not going to worry too much about even getting to the ends, because I think these are going to be more narrow than this is, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I do need glue. This is me trying to be prepared, but not so prepared. Thought I was prepared, but I forgot the glue. Glue, 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 glue. Alright, let's see. I'm looking for something I can use for glue page. Preferably something without my address on it, but just make sure that I don't flip it over the wrong way, that's all. And this is like glossy, so that could work. Just using junk mail. If you don't make videos, you can easily use junk mail. And I'm going to just start with some neutrals. Like I said, I don't need to go all the way to the edge. It's going to get cut down. This is a piece of gel plate print, which I think I'm going to tear down a little bit so that I can have it in two places, because that's more fun. More better, more fun. Maybe, I don't know. I'm feeling in a good mood today. I don't know exactly why. Maybe it's because I sent a video to Clutterbug when she put out, you know, that she's going to do, I'm going to do that across the top, I think. Yeah, she's going to do a makeover for somebody. I don't expect it to be me, but I got really excited when I saw it, and I did not procrastinate for once. And I went downstairs and did a short video, probably longer than they need because it was too long to email, but you know, I figured out how to get it to her. And some photos and whatnot. But I have a feeling that my space is more of a mess than she probably wants to deal with the project she's working on, and that's okay too. It's fine. But whether I get picked or not, I will be working on my studio at some point, because I really need less clutter in my life. Because usually when you're dealing with chronic pain, less clutter is pretty much the answer. Or an answer. It's an answer to simplifying your life and having better quality of life, basically, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, I'm going to let that dry and I'll cut it in a minute. I like using like these old little notepads. Well, this has a nice color or patina on it, which is kind of nice. But also, just a little small piece to collage on, which to me just feels easier to collage on smaller pieces for some reason. See, these may end up, okay, so I watched Tracie Fox and Corey Diamond, I guess, are doing a 10-minute junk journal thing, and I want something that's not terrible. And Tracie did something last week that I really liked, and so, oops. That's all right. I'm just going to cut off the excess anyway. So I'm making some base tags to some bases. Oh, that's not the direction I was planning to go for that, but that's all right. It'll work just fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Do I have more neutrally type papers? Somewhere. Somewhere. All right, I've got little scraps. Oh, man. I took off my, ouch, the pop socket off my phone, so now there's like sticks to everything. What's up with that? I don't know. That is cardstock, so that won't work. All right, I got a box of scraps here, because who doesn't? Well, I suppose Cass doesn't. If you wonder who Cass is, Clutterbug. She is an awesome lady. She's also, I don't, if any of you, a lot of you have heard of her, because in January, no, that was Dana. But Dana and Cass are like related in my brain because I am part of the Take Your House Back course, and they're both in that. So, you know, that's why in my brain they're not the same, but kind of. All right, I'm going to, that's be a top piece. I want you to want me. All right, here's a little piece. I want something a little more neutrally just to put in that corner. Sure. I like these clear rulers. Oh, shoot. Because then you could see, to make a straight line, it's just that if you move the ruler, you're not going to have that straight line. But that's okay. If your paper rips, it's not really a big deal because you're gluing it down. And guess what happens when you glue it down? The rip part gets glued down too. So it's fine. It just makes it a little bit more grungy, whatever. Distressed, I guess is the word that I want. I'm trying to think. This one I think is going to be a little bit more narrow than this one. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. All right, so I'm going to make 2 double-ended tags. Does that make any sense? Are you feeling me? Are you seeing where I'm going with this? Probably not, because I haven't. I mean, I told you who I watched and who I'm inspired by to make this, but I didn't quite tell you. That one's still really wet. I didn't tell you what we were making. So, the lovely Tracie was making these little tabby things using 2 tags. And so I had the idea to make 2 double-ended tags, so you're not just cutting off the ends of a tag and not, you know, because then you could use both ends. That's where I'm going here with my brain. Is trying to say, then we have both ends. You'll see. You'll see. You're gonna see. Why am I explaining it? I'm mansplaining it, aren't I? Not really. I'm just trying to. All right. I can't. Sorry. I realize I am off screen right now. Just fast forward about 10 seconds. Just straightening off the bottom there. There. Now I'm back on screen. Not that this is the important part, but. So this tag will be a little bit more narrow than the other tag. I do wish that I had my corner chopper, but I don't really need it. I think they're about the same. One's a little bit shorter, but that's okay. That's not the important part. So I'm going to turn this into a tag by doing our little corners, because generally tags have that. Do I want it to go this way? It doesn't matter. Well, no, it doesn't matter because, all right, so do our first cut and then flip that over and do the second cut, and then just use that to make this cut. Just cut all four corners are gonna get my tag. It has 4 corners. My 4 corners has my tag, and had it not 4 corners, I wouldn't be cutting it in half. And these corners, so now it's going to look more like a label than a tag, which tells me you could probably use 2 large labels to do what Tracie did. So it's a little 10-minute. I don't know if this will take me 10 minutes. I'm not putting on a timer. I mean, it could potentially take you about 10 minutes to do this from start to finish, or start with a pre-made tag, and it will definitely do that. All right. So I'm gonna go one direction or the other. I'll go this way just because I want this part to show, but I kind of like it to be sort of upside right. I'd like that to be upside right. So I'm gonna go one way or the other. Maybe that way. All right. So that we have this sticking off of here and that sticking off of there. No biggie. If I had my other glue, I would use that, but I don't. So I'm just gonna put a little strip of glue at the top here and put this like this. Try to make it straightish. How do I know if it's straight? I don't. It's all a guessing game, people. Okay, so do that, and then we're gonna cut it in sort of half. Like hers were about 2.5 inches, give or take, when she was done. This is about I'm gonna go to the I think 3 inches might, no, 2 3/4 maybe. I don't know. That's not quite the middle. Let's try to, all right, about 2.5 inches, give or take. So now I have one to go on the left side of the page and one to go on the right side of the page. And so then she used, what's the word that I'm trying to say? She used cheesecloth, but you could use lace or whatever, or paper, whatever you have is what you can use. What do I have? Not much, because I'm upstairs in my living room still. And, oh, I did have some lace I was thinking about using, but I'm actually, I think it's going to take some Amazon packaging, tear off a strip, and tear off a strip, and I'm going to crinkle it. You'll see. Give it, because I want texture. I'm going for some texture here. So, it's too straight on that side. Let's just tear that side too. So, I'm using the wrinkles that are already in here and getting more wrinkles and just giving it texture with the wrinkles from the Amazon packaging. And I also have a doily here. I might do a doily on this one, because that's what I happen to have. I could have a doily sticking out of there. I might. All right, I'm gonna probably do a little bit of a doily on both. All right, so that can stick out of there or at the top. See, I have it light down at the bottom there, so I want to bring some of the light to the some of the lighter bits to the top, I think. So I'll glue that on there, and we'll just make these very similar. So this one's going this way, right? It's not that big a deal. Stuff can be upside down. It's okay. All right. I have a torn edge on that side, so I would like a torn edge on this side. It doesn't have to be, but it's kind of nice if it is. And just wrinkling it up. However, and then I will probably accentuate those wrinkles a little bit with my, I think I will use this dark Fallen Leaves. I could have even done a little bit of text on that just to give it a little more something interest to it, but I think doing the inking on the wrinkles is actually working out pretty well. All right, and let's do this one on this side. And then she had a little focal point. What am I gonna do for a focal? I keep trying to see, all hers like went this direction, so in my brain I want them to all go that direction, which it won't matter, because once there's a focal point on that, it really won't matter. But also, it could still go this way. It's just my brain. Just how my brain is working. The last couple days have been better days, I'm happy to say. I did some cleaning yesterday. See, that's the thing, is sometimes when I am having a better day, crafting cannot be the go-to. Sometimes I need to clean something because it just doesn't get done very often. Not that it ever did before, but now definitely not. And you know, nobody cleans like the mom. Even cleaning off the table, other people in the house are like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. I'm like, y'all got it out. How do you not know where it goes? You know? Whatever. This is not a grape session. Not that I don't have stuff. Okay, it goes this way, lady. I'm going to drive myself crazy with that. All right. So, let's see. So I will make sure and link Tracie's video for this. And sometimes what takes the longest is figuring out what you want to put on there. I was thinking, you know, something like this could be kind of cute. But also, could just use one of my flowers. Okay, so I've been making these flowers, and ooh, I like that one. So I am going to use these, I believe. And in another video probably, will show you. That one kind of works because this has got a little bit of red on there. All right, yeah, that's what's going to happen. I could even, this is one's on a brad, so I could even like poke that through to hold it on, which maybe I will. These ones are sharp too. so I kind of, now you can be able to go, yeah, see some brads, ouch. I mean, it is sharp. Did both, no, both ends didn't go through, that's the problem. You do need both little legs to go through when you do it though. Come on. All right, see, once you split them, they don't want to, they just want to stay spread out. Ah, this one's sharp. But it means that I don't have to use a pokey tool when I use it. All right, so there's that one. Did I ink the edges yet? I don't know. I don't think that I did. Should have. I could have. Should is just could with shame on it, you know. So I try not to say it. There's, okay, I thought there was something on the camera lens. I'm not usually like where I can see up into it. But you know. Alright, so there's that one. And this one does not have a thing, so I will add better glue in a minute. But for this moment in time, I'm just going to stick it on there with some glue stick. And some of these flowers already made will be for sale in the live sale next week. Ouch! On Cheryl's channel, the whole bucket. And also, I will have packs of just the bits, the die cuts. Hold on, I'll show you. I kept one for myself. BRB. All right, so I also have packs of these, which I'm gonna say are 70 or more. I think they're actually at least about 75, but I like to cover my A55 and say less. So these will also be for sale next week. All different. None of them will be the same. I kept one for myself to play with. There is a short that kind of shows you how to give them texture. If you don't want them to have texture, then you just layer them up however. Like you might take one of these and then, you know, I just kind of alternate, because inside the journal it's a little bit harder to have all that texture. But see, you know how I did the brad in the middle? If you do that, you put the brad through and then you can put a paper clip on it and it makes a really cute thing. Now, you don't have to do it like that. That's actually, you know, it's okay. And also, you know, see what it looks like flat? Not as fun. It's much more fun to do this. Well, there, no, there it goes. I had it. Of course I had it. Yeah, it fell on the floor. All right, so I just take the back of a toothbrush, paintbrush. It'd be weird if I use my toothbrush. So on these scallopy ones, you can cut or tear, and this just gives it more petally shape. I did not. This is why you get more petals for less, because you have to do the work on these. So you turn it upside down. And you take something, the smaller the flower, the smaller your little tool you want, but this one works. And you just kind of have a piece of fun foam, or this is a stamp. But I made sure not to use a stamp that had thin lines, because I didn't want to be smishing down thin lines on a stamp. So I wouldn't use a text stamp for this. And a lot of some of these papers, like this one, that's painty paper. So some of these are painty, some of these are digitals. And it just was fun. This one was double-sided. You can choose which side you want. So like I said, you could tear or you can cut to get that. And, you know, a little bit or more. Just don't, and this is a little bit big for this one, I think. I'll use, well, no, the eraser's not going to be much different. You could use back of a pencil. That would be the eraser part of a pencil. So you do it all on the outside, and then you do one in the middle. And on the ones that are painty papers that are on both sides, you can choose which ones you want to use. Let's see, what do we want to use in the middle? Maybe this one. This one, I would probably just take a pen without the pokey part out. You know, a ballpoint pen works for that. Or I had another paintbrush that I was using. I did find it the other day, but I lost it again. Oh, here's the pen. See, pen, but don't have that out, have that in. And that's usually about the right size for doing the smallest of the smalls. And so, you know, and if you only do like 3 layers, it's not quite as thick. I was doing like 5 or 6 layers. So, but what's nice about these is you can make them to your own, you know, how you like them. And then, you know, most of us have paper fasteners or brads. Because I don't know about you, but I find them at the thrift store. And so I have lots. So I'm grabbing my brads. And you don't have to have brads. So I've seen people use like a little snap. I will usually use like art glitter glue or Barely Arts glue to glue these together. But then I would have to find that right now. I'm actually gonna take, I had some snaps in here. No, I think I'll use this. I have some of these little bingo things. So I'm actually going to use that. I had some snaps. They're in a different container now. I moved them so they could be in all my flower making things. So I'm just cutting out this little gold metal. It's a little, they're little, I don't know, they were from in a vintage bingo game. And I think they're adorable as a flower center. So use what you got. If you got something cute, a little bit big for that. That's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to put our flower together, and it's up to you if you want your petals to be in between the other petals or be not in between the other petals. I usually like them a little bit in between, but that's just me. Where'd my... I think this needs to be just a little bit smaller. I don't want to lose the words, but just take out that yellow around there. I mean, you could even use your paper punch and cut circles out of some paper for your middles. Would probably be a perfect size. Whoops. For that. And then I tried to put a couple extra ones of green, there's not a ton, but there's some in here that have like these green. Let's do this one. So I'm actually going to cut that like that. I'm going to do the same thing I did for the other ones on these outside petals. And then I don't have a middle, so we're just going to pretend that's the middle. Of course, I could have inked these all individually. I did not ink them. This is the tedious bit, but if you like them grungy, then you like that bit. That sounded wrong. And these flowers make nice little leaves to go off the flower if you are so inclined to add a leaf. So, yeah, in the short, I use the other flowers. So this time, I'm doing this. If I don't like the 3 leaves, I could just do 2 there. And another one down here. And another one. And another one. And another one. There's little leaves coming off the edges like that. So, there's, and let's see. Oh, this one, this has got a weird little piece in the middle that I used a hole punch. And then I just like folded them in. I should probably show you that, huh? If I knew where that hole punch was, I would. I totally would. I know where that hole punch is. So this 1.5 hole punch, 1.5 inch hole punch was the right size to do what I was wanting to do for that thing that I did. All right, let's just take a piece of this gel plate print. Oh, and I'm curious, because I've been doing some doodles and cutting them out, but the cutting out is hard. So if I were to do like a page of doodles on a gel plate print and didn't cut them out and then sent them to Cheryl for the live sale, is that something that you guys would be interested in? I don't know. You guys have any ideas for what for me to send for the live sale? I can't. All right. So, and then I take one of these so that I can get my lines in there, right? Put it in the middle the best that I can. And then just cut in the middle of each section on that circle. Got quiet. So now I take these little bits out here and make a little triangle, basically. So, yes, this is Fiddly. I think my fingers were working better that day. I don't know. Just make triangles. They don't have to be perfect or even line up perfect. I mean, I suppose you could find the middle and just bend it down to that bit, but you don't really have to be that precise, I don't think. I mean, flowers are not perfect. So if your flowers that you're making are not perfect, that's okay too. Because you know what? This is going to get covered somewhat with another flower. And so it's only going to be sticking out on those ends. So then you just go and you glue those down. Look, I found my Fairly Arts glue. So you just glue all those little corners down so they don't break or fall off. Or I mean, you could cut them off to take out some of the bulk. But actually, one of the nice things about this little piece is that it is a little bit bulky. A little bit bulky now. And so it adds a little bit of texture. See, it does not look perfect, but it'll still look cute in the piece. All right, so let's find maybe a paper bag one. And I tried to have some interesting pieces in there, like that one I think will work. Oh, of course we got to do this part. We don't gotta. This is the bottom one, I might not, but this one, just to take out some of the bulk, I might leave the bottom one flat. But do this one, see, upside down, do the out petals, and then do the middle. Ink it if you want to. Ink if you want to. Ink around the world. And then just some glue, whatever glue you've got. You saw I just did even glue stick on the other one, and glue this piece down. Stay. I want you to stay. And how did I do the other one? Does it matter? I think the other one I actually had in the middle of these petals here. And then the next piece, which I think I'll do this one. I think some people even kind of like spray these when they do them, the flowers, but that just seems like an extra step that isn't really needed. The paper holds its shape fairly well, I think. All right, so this one I'm putting so that these little sticky out things are in between, see? And then that could be it. I mean, you could just stop there if you wanted to. Or you could add another layer for the middle. Whatever you like. I have some big, that's too shiny. Some bigger brads like that. I'd probably want to add some alcohol ink to that though, because it's very brass and shiny. And also, let's see, I had somewhere, I have another one in here. So I will usually take a pokey tool and just poke a hole in the middle, because not all of the paper fastener slash brads have a sharp point on them. This one's a little bit. And stick that in there and spread it out. Spread those legs. That's for you, Eddie. Not that anybody does that for you, but you know. So I'm just being rude, sorry. All right, so then you just kind of, like, if one of them is too long, you can cut it off, or you can just kind of bend it the way you want to bend it. And then if you have a paper clip, do I have a paper clip? No, I don't have a paper clip. But you just stick your paper clip. I have one with a paper clip though. Is it in here? Of course not. Why would it be in here? Anyway, you just stick your paper clip on there, and then you've got a little paper clip. And then, so this one is a lot more flat. I don't know why. I think because I flattened it when I did the, so And that's why some people will like spray, like a mister is probably the best, so it's not gonna get too wet. I don't know. Do we want to see if spraying it makes it do better or not? We'll try it. We'll try it for you. Now, when you do this, you do not want to get too aggressive because you know what will happen. You'll rip your paper. Just saying. All right. This is a mister one. It's mister, not a Mrs. Because my son asked for one for the plants and whatnot. So let's start with digital, which I'll spray the back, just a little spritz. I don't know if this helps or not. I just, in my brain, I remember somebody kind of saying it helps to form your, to have them keep their shape. Of course, you know, we're not going to sit around and see if they keep their shape. I don't know if it helps or not. Let's try a paper bag one first. The more grungy you want it, if you want it grungy, you might want to go ahead and do your tears. You don't have to do the tears. That's optional. But this is like a thicker paper too. All right. Sorry, I got to spray it on here because I don't want water everywhere on my table. All right. So there's just a little mist of spray on there. See, the idea here is like kind of like you might spray your paper when you do the embossing on the like Sizzix and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know that that really helps. It just makes it a little bit more probable that you'll rip your things, you know. So yeah, and then now here's the issue I have with these. I bought them from the same company. They're a little pricey. But it came with the 3 stamps of each. So like, but here's my problem. See, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals. This one has 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a little bit of a pain when you're trying to like combine them and match them up. But you just make it so your eyeball likes it just fine. It doesn't have to match up perfectly. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. So yes, go check out Cheryl's live sale next week. These are all different. None of these are the same. Like, they'll never be the same because, you know, even if I use the same papers, they're still going to be different. I had some old ones that, so I think this was like 2022 when the video came out. See, this one's flat, but it's still okay. I'll put a brad in there. It'll be fine. But it's not as nice as some of the other ones, so that's why that one's with me. But you can see some of these are nicely kept their shape. I did not use water on those. Oh, and then this one, see, I just kind of cut apart that piece so that it would show around the edges. So if you want your flowers bigger, if you want them smaller, just use the smaller flowers. If you want them bigger, then use the bigger flowers. Oh, that's the turtle. I don't know if you heard him. He wants attention, I'm sure. So keep an eye out for the finished ones and the pack of die cuts at Cheryl's sale next week, and have fun with it. Here's just this is just an example of what's in there. There's painty papers, it's like a heavier packaging, paper bag kind of packaging. Some digitals. I tried to make sure there were some number text things in there. This one is a digital of painty papers. And then there's these little papers that I got from Amazon. Oh, that's right, I cut that. Painty papers. And like if you get one like this that just has the white on it and you don't like the white, you just ink it. Take away the white. Oh, and also I was thinking, I was going to mention this and then forgot. You don't have to leave these as they are. You can totally add stamping to them and add more interest to them, which I was going to show you, but my stamp disappeared. I had it before I started. Of course I had it before I started. I did. That's okay. I have this one. I had it. I was going to use a script stamp that I've got, but this one's just as good, or even better, because this one's a PM Artist Studio one. So I'm just going to lay these out and add some little triangles to them. Triangles, diamonds. So, you know, you can add some stamping and some script, some numbers, whatever you like, to add more interest to your little flower die cuts before you start turning them into flowers. So you can buy yourself flowers. I won't sing it. I said I wouldn't sing it. I was humming it. It's not the same. All right. So yep. So that was my idea for today. I think mine ended up being bigger than Tracie's. But you just take this in a journal. Do I have a journal page? I have something I could use as a journal page. I just fold this paper in half. And then you could just put it like as a little text. You could have it coming off the page so it looks like a tab. You could just, that goes that way. That's going to bug me. So yeah, you could have it come off the page like a tab. You could have just that part come off the page. You could have it be on here like it's a little side tuck. And then I suppose you could even do it like that if you wanted to. Just have it be like a fun little. So if I did it like this for a pocket, I would glue here and down here and here. Oh, and I guess maybe here, just because you don't want stuff falling out of it. But I don't know. Side tuck's cute because then you just glue here and glue here, and you've got a little side tuck for your page. If this is a little straight for you, you could add a little bit of lace or string or whatever. I had some string here earlier. Oh, here it is. So like, I don't know where this string came from, but you could totally just kind of stick that in there. And then if I did that, I would also put washi tape on the back so that stuff wouldn't get caught in there. But that was another layer of texture option. All right, hope you guys have a delightful day. Love you.